Hello and welcome to Comics and Cleats, the Minnesota Comic Exchange weekly fantasy football and comic podcast. Let me bring on Commissioner Jordan and Coach Chris. You know them as the two admin, or actually we're all admins of the exchange. Before we jump into football, we should probably thank everybody that came out to the show this weekend, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So were there any highlights for you guys for the show? Something that stuck out from this show than the other ones?
We had a lot of solo tables, not as many double table vendors. That was really cool. Increases parity amongst the show.
Get some new creators. I thought that was awesome.
New creators were awesome.
Yeah, the guy that you brought on to the show, the one that did, was it Robot Cats?
I should know this, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You bought his horror book, right?
Yep, of Death, and it's actually a really good book. Nora has it in her pile at the moment, but I was actually surprised how much I like that, and I'm hoping it continues to go on. He was talking at Crypticon. He did a creation of the Grim Reaper that he had from the book. So I'm like, man, next time I should bring that to the show. So.
Yeah, I saw pictures. I think I might have presented it as overly family friendly. Not that it's not, but I think that led him to keep some of his horror stuff at home. Although I did try and clarify, like, really the line in the sand is once it is like, 90s image. If it's too risque for 90s image, it's too risque for our show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're probably good.
Let's get this out there in the public though too. The chat, quick of the.
Ooh, yeah, good call. You gonna share it or you want me to share? You share it. So. Hey, while we got some dead time, since people can also watch this not live, I just met up with Dwayne Boris, a member, big Captain America guy, big Green Bay Packer guy. You grabbed this for me. I really appreciate it. It's a recycled mold of Hulk, but they haven't had a banner in a while. I don't think they've had a banner with Hasbro.
Nice.
The old Toy Biz banner. Clearance. That's why I needed it. I'm not paying full price for this.
Well, I think you and I had that conversation yesterday about the packaging sucking now for these Marvel figures.
Well, it's not great because there's people locally who will buy these, open them methodically, glue them shut with like whatever else, rocks, old Lara Croft Tomb Raider action figure, McDonald's toys. I don't know. It's real crappy. I mean, just imagine you buy that for your kid or for somebody's birthday and they're opening it at the birthday party and it's like, oh, it's not what it's supposed to be. And then there's a huge meltdown and then it's like,
Lara Croft.
You will like Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. But
yeah.
I'm not much of a toy collector, but I like the ones with the see-through windows, if that's where we're going on this.
That is where we're going.
Yeah, I don't know if you've kept up with it, that Marvel figures have a closed-in box and put the art on the front of what the toy looks like a picture of the toy. So like there was a Ghost Rider that came out. It was a vintage Ghost Rider red motorcycle, and it would have looked awesome if it actually had like a see-through cover to it.
But yeah, I've got that one.
Yeah, instead it was just a box with the art on it. So yeah, well, I guess we're now a toy podcast too now.
Nah.
So did you guys pick up anything at the show? I know like all three of us were busy.
Oh yeah, I picked up some stuff.
Yeah, I completed my little Rocket Raccoon limited series run, and I completed my 1988 Wolverine up to about issue 90 run. with some dollar Wolverine books that we could have spent $3 or $4 on, but I just wanted to kind of bide my time and wait, and that worked out.
Yep.
I got Captain America 117 and 18 from a member, a fellow Chris.
And did
Pretty happy to have
you,
those in my collection.
for your meetup earlier today with one of our local Captain America guys, did you make sure to rub that in?
No, he's got them. I gotta know. Dwayne's got these. I mean, he's gotta.
Now, Jordan, I know that you are a Ghost Rider fan too, right?
Absolutely.
So, I gotta give a shout out to Sickle's Most Wanted Comics had it, the $3 Bronze Age Ghost Rider. So I had to pick up a few of those. Secrets of Haunted House too. That was stuff I was picking up. Of course,
Actually, I think I grabbed Ghost Rider number 8 from Mike Bardas.
Yeah.
That was about all I could afford out of his boxes, but nice to pick up. Nice condition, low number Bronze Age Ghost Rider.
I got
Well,
some Bronze Age for you.
And you guys gifted me the Kevin Nash cover too.
Hey, I didn't know that. I wanted to charge you $11.
Oh, there's more.
Hey,
We'll have opportunities to charge Kyle
was-
for wrestling comics.
I was just going through my collection. I did not realize I actually had a signed Kevin Nash cover too. So I'm like, I'll just add this to it as well.
Nice.
But
I'm actually bagging and boarding as we go here.
yeah, I'm glad no one can see around here right now because this entire room is full with comics that need to be put in boxes.
Right,
So,
that's what I just bag this.
Ooh, pretty.
love that cover.
Tyler posted this, member, and I was about to go to bed. And if you're an admin, you get a notification for everything. You guys know we get notifications all day, every day. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, somewhere in between. I was like, oh, I'm definitely buying that. So I claimed it. You guys probably saw it, but great guy, Tyler. He's got a lot more stuff that he's putting up. So
Was he one that also had like the graphic novel size, like the original graphic novels? Like
yeah, I got a couple of them too from him.
Yeah, because I've seen the Inhumans one. I'm not much of an Inhumans person, but that cover caught my eye. So,
Yeah, they're fun. I think I finished my set with him the other day. So we'll get those all mylar'd up and I'll share them with you one of these days.
Well, it's just the three of us right now. Best wishes to John, by the way, John Palm, our other co-host. He can't make it tonight, but I just want to, give him some best wishes. Do we want to jump into football, as soon as possible? Or do you want to keep talking comics right now?
Well, we can just say that the points winners were me and Jericho last week.
No.
No, who won? Who won in points? 4.
I had 186.
Oh, it was you, Jericho, then me, then.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah, Kyle destroyed my team. I ran into the Kyle buzzsaw.
So was Kyle in second place then?
First.
I know that's okay. You were tiebreaker with points 4, right?
Yeah. So I was actually looking at this last night. So this is what week 4 going to week 4 now, and there's only one team that hasn't won a game in the league right now.
Who is it, Johnny?
Austin. Believe it or not, Johnny is tied with you and John Palm in your league right now at 2-1. And then
but my team just got extra loaded.
I'm getting these alerts all the time. Damage controls adding new player. So,
it just happens, man. Last year I was a little occupied. This year I'm coming for blood.
Dude, I didn't realize you picked up Tutu. I like that pickup.
I did?
Yeah.
Yeah, Atwell?
Yep, Tutu Atwell.
Got it. And what's funny is every time waiver wire rolls around, I'm not going to get anybody I pick, but I already line it up with the people I want, but you guys take them. But it's all right. We'll keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Who are you facing? Okay, you're facing Maurice, so I can give you some advice. You can take Aaron Jones off IR right now. He's supposed to play tonight.
Oh, he's playing tonight?
Yep. Looks like he's got 14.5 as a projection tonight.
You see Maurice?
Well, yeah, yeah, Jordan, you and I played last week, and first week, we actually ran into Dustin at Issues yesterday, and that first week he destroyed us. So the week after that at Uncanny, Austin and I were in the same panel while playing each other, and he was so pissed off that I was in the same panel while he was getting destroyed. So, I seriously thought that you and I were going to have a very close game because your team, you're projected to actually make playoffs this year. So I thought for sure you and I were going to have a close game.
There's still plenty more weeks.
Right. I'm gonna go yell at my dog here in a minute.
But we do the boiled chicken of the week, and I actually think that the boiled chicken's actually in your team this week.
Yeah, who do you got?
Dallas Cowboys defense.
I got to give them a break. They won me a week single-handedly. They held their own week 2. They're all right for an off week for week 3. I'll take it.
Oh, the only reason I'm saying that they were the boiled chicken of the week is because -2 points against Arizona, out of all teams.
Everyone gets an off week any given Sunday.
I mean, I hope that's the Vikings this week.
No one gets an off week. No one.
What was that, Chris?
No one gets an off week. Your job's always on the line unless you're like running back 1 and you have a good non-fumbling record.
Is that a
or
shot?
You're the quarterback.
Is that a shot at the Vikings for the fumbles right now? I mean, we've lost 7 fumbles this year. It's insane.
I'm not going to get nasty about it, but when you're a professional in the NFL, you got to hold on to the damn ball.
But yeah, this is what the score of was. Jordan and I was 182-88 to 124-36.
Jordan got crushed.
I mean, is it really necessary to pull this up?
Well, we're going to be pulling up everyone's game here soon. But, you look at your bench, and if you have a healthy Cooper Kupp, a healthy Jalen Waddle, Anthony Richardson could be good. So it's like you just had a bad day. So, and I mean, Buffalo's not going to score 31 points in the game all the time. So,
yeah, no, yeah, they won't.
Yeah, but I'm going to shoot over to the battle of the Chris's real quick. You and Zappo.
Yeah, Zappo better not show his face around town for a while.
Well, I was just telling Jordan that the boiled chicken of the week was Dallas Cowboys, but Derrick Henry just sucked too, though. So
yeah, I had no option at running back, so I'm just glad everybody crushed it.
I was gonna say, why'd you start Reynolds from Detroit?
Everybody else was hurt, and I had to pick him up.
Gotcha.
He's not on my team anymore.
I'm looking at how did you win with someone scoring 1.5?
It's greatness. Can't be taught.
I was thinking that you were gonna make an amputation joke for some reason when I heard that at first. I'm like, well, is Kennelly here?
Yeah, John's probably gonna win it all. Watch.
Well, yeah, that's actually what I was going to hop to next, because I'm going to quickly run through this. Kennelly beat John Palm 124-114.
That's a win.
Do you remember who we projected to win this game last week?
I predicted Kennelly because I needed him to win so I could take first place with points for a tie.
Jordan, did you have a prediction for this?
So a very fact-based prediction.
maybe I was being nice and I picked John Palm to win this. But when Denver loses 70-20 and you have two Broncos on your team, I don't think you're gonna win.
Yeah, I'd be looking to, if I was John Palm, I'd be looking to find a new starting quarterback one. Who is his other guy? Mac Jones. I will trade you Geno Smith. I'll send it tonight for, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It's for CD Lamb, straight up. Straight up. Geno, I'll call you my junkiest wide receiver with Geno Smith.
I don't know about that. Looking at his team right now, you're going to handicap him at receiver then. Because Darius Toney, he's choking nonstop.
That's not happening.
Better to be weak at wide receiver than at running back.
I don't know. This year, I mean, look at Johnny. I mean, granted, Johnny had DeAndre Swift go off last week.
Right.
But this week, he only scored 16 points, and Williams only scored 8.5. But yet his receiving, actually, nobody went off for Johnny. It was just a solid game by everybody. So, and I'm actually interested to see what Jordan Love does tonight against Detroit. I'm shocked, though, that Sam Laporta wasn't played because Laporta's been having a great season. But then we had the Baller issues needed. Jason against Maurice. Did any of us predict Maurice winning by 40 this week?
No one. I did say that he was going to win, I believe.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did pick him last week to win.
Not winning this week.
Yeah, and looking at Jason's team right now, Josh Kelly and Bryce Hall, I mean, they have to do something. So.
Right. Yeah, he needs let's see, Jason. I don't know. I don't like Dak Prescott this year.
I have him in another league, and he hasn't done crap for me.
But I still do want CeeDee Lamb, but
Text John, what would you want for CD?
Right. And Maurice is just going down this week, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Well, this week is actually a good game, though. I mean, Maurice has Josh Allen, and you have Buffalo against Miami this weekend. Which I had to take away both those defenses. Despite Buffalo having one of the best defenses in the league, I don't trust anybody against Miami's offense.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
You've got nothing but speed on that team. Tyreek Hill, Tua, both running backs. Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert. Jalen Waddle didn't play last week, and they scored 70 points. So
good points.
But I mean, then again, you look at what happened last year with Tua. Tua was amazing up until the concussion, and his numbers are matching up to what he did last year at this time period.
Right.
So it's like, if Tua stays healthy, is he one of the best QBs in the league?
Probably.
I mean, Dustin is really, really lucky to have Tua this year. And I remember giving him crap during the draft for Tua.
I had Tua last year, I think, or one of the years as like one of my quarterbacks, and he was just a bust. But
I mean, look at this. He has Tua putting up 41 points, and then Deshaun Watson putting up 26 on the bench as QB position.
Right. Yeah.
And then he has Tank Dell, who puts up 30 points on the bench. But then again, though, he just lost Mike Williams for the year. Dustin did, so.
There's a lot of injuries for big name people this year. Seems like more than the last couple of years. Wouldn't you say, Jordan?
I don't know. There's always injuries that happen. It's hard to say.
All right, we got Jericho up in the house right
I
now.
can agree to that.
So,
I managed to sneak off for a break. How's everyone doing today?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, Jericho.
Yes, sir.
Should we give away one of the books Tom Wynn gave us to somebody
Oh my
that's
God.
watching this?
Did I come back just to give away a book?
Yeah, you did.
Hell yeah, we should give away a book.
All right. What do we want it to be?
Why don't we give some time? Why don't we,
we don't have
maybe
to
do
rush
it in 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
well, I know the one thing that about the show is that we have a lot more people who watch it after it's over.
That's what I imagine too.
So a little backstage for those who are watching. We can see how many people are watching this live, and right now we have nobody but the four of us.
Hell yeah. I mean, heck yeah.
So whenever we make the announcement about the books, we would know if you see it. So,
Yeah.
They can watch, and it would be just kind of a thing if you watch it, the first person to do whatever gets it.
the first person to comment.
Nah, I was gonna say, let's see. You guys tell what hat I'm wearing. Don't say it out loud. What's on my hat? Can you tell?
I can't tell.
I don't know. I can make you bigger.
No. Oh, yeah, make me bigger for 1 second.
That background, Jordan, looks like the background of Snoop Dogg's first album.
All right.
On top
Take
of
me
the
off
doghouse.
big.
It's
Well, I made you
pretty
a big
fitting.
now.
People should be
thank
able
you.
to know what my hat is now.
Yeah.
How about the first person that comments on it gets this? Tom Wynn gave this to us.
Uh-oh.
Gave us 2 of them. We're gonna give one away to see if anybody's watching this and paying attention. If not, we'll do it and give it away another time.
It's all right.
A red Sonia, 1 of 500, signed by Tom.
This is a prop cigarette for all the kids watching.
Prop.
Yeah.
Johnny
And it
Depp
looks like-
does it too.
Yeah, we just got a comment too within. So
You're not here.
well, thanks for jumping in there, Andrew.
Hey, it's Mr. K. I'm sorry about your poll list, even if it was right, because it's going to be wrong at some point.
Andrew's favorite band is the Rolling Stones.
Oh, well, we feel honored to be present for your mid-loaf pinch.
I think I'm gonna put this book into a Mylar. Did he miss how to win it?
No, he's wiping.
Oh yeah. Hygiene's important.
Also, it was a great timing for that motorcycle to go by you, Jericho. Grassy said that.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of
Great
activity
time.
here. It'll be fun.
um,
Andrew, just remember, you got to wipe twice. It's never clean just twice.
sounds like you know from experience.
I have
Sound
touched
advice.
myself many a time, unfortunately. Getting it
Well,
right.
Welcome to Poop Talk with the Minnesota Comic Exchange.
No, we're not doing this. Let's talk about something else.
Do you have an image for the book Everybody Poops on deck?
No. I do not.
That's enough. Just kidding.
Oh, Kyle.
I
You
mean,
not poop.
I eat a lot of Taco Bell, so I think that answers the question.
And chicken wings.
And chicken wings, and
It's known as peeing out your arse.
oh, look
Sorry,
at
that's
we.
gross. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
How's it going, Johnny?
How's it going, everyone?
Big dog.
So we actually
Johnny
have
boy.
we have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you poop?
Do I
That
poop?
wasn't my question.
Do I use the number 2 bathroom? Is what you're asking?
We
Who
Just
does
10
number
second
2
answer.
work for?
we're having a
yeah.
we're having
I'm
a
a
very
mammal.
conversation.
I'm a mammal. I live in a 3-dimensional world, so pooping does not cut me in half.
Yeah.
So yes, I poop.
3 dimensions.
Just saying, in a 2-dimensional world, the digestive system has to work in a completely different manner because a regular track would just like cut it. So, Fun Life, most they figure probably would work as like amoebas, kind of just surrounding things, and then just kind of like.
Are you still answering that first question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ask an hey, listen. You ask me a question, I'm gonna give you an answer. All right.
Well,
You know what?
we actually have another question just pop up, and Jericho, this is directed to you.
Okay.
So, does Jericho screw up anyone else's poll list or just
I
mine?
hope so. Can you make one for me and screw it up, and we'll call it Jericho's Wild Card? One book every week.
I can already tell you, if I was in charge of the pull list, what 2 books would be in Andrew K's box, because he likes to remind me that I'm missing them. But if Andrew is talented enough, he can throw up the pictures of the covers that he knows what I'm talking about. They're bad. It was
Me
a
and Andrew have a
Wolverine
history
cover.
together. First, he said he did not like me because I told him the Beatles are not so great. But I really like my dad, and I like rock bands that made it more than 6 years. Second, I used to buy all the slabs out from under him at Issues Needed. It was like a weird thing. He'd wake up, he'd be like, I'm going to go buy that slab that day, and I would hear it through the universe, and I'd go buy it before him because I live closer to Apple Valley.
I'd have to agree with you on the Beatles take there, Chris.
I gotta say, as the commissioner of all this, I need to exercise my commissioner privileges and ask Kyle, what's the next matchup we have on deck to talk about?
Yes, sir.
We were actually about to jump into Jericho versus Austin.
Oh, you mean the last week? Yeah. Let's talk about that.
This is the last game that we haven't talked about yet. We were talking about Maurice destroying Jason. But this is the last before you guys jumped on. But yeah, I thought that the game between Jordan and I was an ass kicking until I seen this.
Yeah, that's impressive stuff.
So.
Well, it's not.
I mean, I don't know why he continues to start Justin Fields. Like, he's not giving himself any favors.
Matt Stafford only had a point.
So Jericho, what's your secret to success?
Cat food.
I don't have any secrets. I just hope the guys perform well. I look at I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I look at defensive matchups and positionally what they're usually giving up. We've got about 2-3 weeks of data already, so you can tell who's sucking and who's playing pretty strong. Because, the projected is always nice to go with, but a lot of times, sometimes you're like, nah, those guys are going to get destroyed. But you get lucky, and guys show up, and points show up, and you get wins. And other times, they don't. But no secrets. Just
Andrew says don't start anyone from the Bears. Which
that
seems like a good advice.
Yeah.
Well,
when Morstead, goes off for 45 fantasy points. I mean, anytime you have a player go off like that, I mean that whole Miami game, everybody. I mean, if you had anybody on that team who got any of those points, like you had a golden ticket.
Although it's funny though, we're giving Chicago crap, yet Jericho has DJ Moore on this team who got 13 points still.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. That matchup, I had to look at who I had for options. And the truth is that I didn't have many options. So you throw the guy in and you hope you get points. He got me a dozen, so I'm happy it wasn't a donut. So
makes sense. Bear is a last resort.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing is, too, I think the numbers for some of the Denver players were a little bit inflated because the game was so outmatched that they were just giving them plays, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I think, what's that, Deshane or Diakne or whatever his name is, the third stringer, like, he just went on a tear. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he's going to get any snaps next week unless they run up the score again, but
we'll see.
Yo, this Chris guy is kind of rude right now, man.
Maybe we should keep moving. Maybe we should keep going.
He's got to bench that Justin Fields. Like, he's not.
How's it going, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Mr. Mulick?
All right, so I'm going to hop into this week's of games coming up. And let's start off with Joe versus Austin. 1 second. I'm actually happy to see the fact that Austin has a chance to win finally.
Who's he play this week?
Austin's playing Joe Courtney this week. He's got a 26-point favorite. Joe's got Kirk Cousins, so who's averaging almost 34 points a game.
Yeah, it's hard to, I can dislike the guy, but his production is there. Oh, on a side note, congratulations to Joe Courtney. He and his wife are expecting their second child any moment now, if not already.
Hey, congrats, man.
Congrats to a
Very
member
nice.
and fellow friend, Joe Courtney. So good job, Joe. Way to knock another one up.
Now I feel like he should beat Austin now.
Do it for the baby.
No, I mean, I think Joe's going to win this. I mean, Justin Fields has been terrible this year. Joe Mixon's been underperforming. I mean, unless Tyreek goes out there, gets another 50-point game again. Brandon Ayuk, he's questionable if he's going to start again. I mean, on paper, I don't see it. I think Joe's going to walk away with this one. Unless Miami puts up 80 points and Tyreek Hill has 5 touchdowns. Crazy. Yeah, and Andrew just put in the comments, Cousins is having a great season statistically, and I think Jericho said it before. He's averaging 30 points in fantasy or something stupid like that. So, I think it's going to be an uphill battle, honestly, for Austin.
Another thing to think about too is if Austin Eckler plays and gets swapped into the Rashard Penny slot that is projected at 0 points. Now we're looking at a pretty even projected points.
Game. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rashad Penny, I mean, like I said I think the first week, they've got so many running backs right there that until you see him, play 20 snaps a game in multiple weeks, you can't start him because they got too many people back there.
Well, yeah, if Joe was to start Austin Eckler, but if he doesn't, we understand why. He's preoccupied at the moment, at least. I still think, though, that there's a chance that Austin gets first win of the year. That way, we've all won a game at least this week.
Oh, Austin is still carrying 0-3?
Yeah, Austin is, yep.
You can do it, Austin. I believe in you.
If you look at, so we've mainly focused on the ESPN league here, but we do have a Yahoo league as well, which I absolutely suck in. John Palm sucks in. Jordan, how are you doing in that league?
I got to win.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
But, I mean, we're not joking when we say it is very hard to get a win in that league. All right, Jordan, now we're talking about your game here. Your game's extremely close against Lester.
Mm-hmm.
0.5? So
yeah.
And it's
That's
weird.
why they play the games.
I mean, yeah, and you got Jalen Waddle going against Buffalo. Jalen Waddle is still injured. Well, that could lean your way as Kevin Ridley can get in the end zone. So I think this is the game to watch this week between you two.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're all going to have some crazy dramatic happen in them that changes the tide of the game.
Yeah.
I just wish Trevor Lawrence for Jordan would be a little bit more consistent. I mean, he started off strong week 1 and then they've been underperforming last 2 weeks.
Well, we'll see if I start him or not.
Chris,
He's kind of hurt my feelings.
Chris, wasn't it you that said that you like to look at it every 4 weeks, in increments, kind of? No. So I remember someone here was talking about how they like to look at the fantasy season now. It's quarterly, every 4 games. To
Jericho.
Was it Jericho? You said that?
I believe he said that at the draft, where he's like, I don't even want to change my team until week 4, and then I'll do it again 4 weeks later, and then I'll do it one more time before the playoffs.
So
It's just how I break down the year. Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting next week to look at where we're all at. I mean, right now we did the standings when we got here. When we started, we did the standings, and we're all 2-1 for the most part.
Well, and I think what's interesting too at this point is we don't have a waiver wire maximum like a dollar amount, but I'm always weary about getting too many players early on and not just letting the players I pick ride, And unless you got someone really hurt or a spot to fill, sometimes it can be a little hasty filling out spots.
Wait, Chris, was that expensive Venom cover that you guys had at the show?
Yeah, it's on hold for Brad Huber.
Nice. Shout out to Brad, who was just in the comment section earlier.
Yeah. Just wanted to, it was sitting right here and wanted to wave it around.
People were talking about that book at the show. So.
I hope so. It's a beautiful book.
It is. There's one tiny thing on it, but otherwise.
All right, so we have Kennelly versus Zappo.
Yeah, a 2-win win streak. Go me. It was kind of funny because like last week, going into Monday night, I was down by 40 points, but I ended up winning by 20. It was a big swing because I had 3 or 4 players that were scheduled for Monday night. So I was like, you guys got to get out there and get it done. So that was pretty good. And then you were talking earlier about waiver wire stuff. I was like, it's been crazy because I lost Aaron Rodgers and then I lost, Nick Chubb and everything. So man,
you also had the first pick every week in waivers and been able to clean up house. So
I pulled out that first week. I was like, Pakachawa. I can't pronounce his name. Wide receiver, and him and Williams out of the Rams. I was like snagging those guys week 1 waiver wire. I was like, I gotta get some depth here and figure it out. And I think I'm starting to figure out. I've been kind of up and down. 2 weeks ago I had barely won. I think I won by 5 points, but I didn't even start 3 of my players that went over for 30 points or something stupid. And so I think if this was the lineup I think I have here, I think this is going to be my lineup that's going to be carrying me. I don't think I'm really going to be changing this too much, unless I see something where there's a particular defense that I think is going to be terrible, and I might want to plug Tyler Lockett back in versus Michael Porter Jr. I think that's kind of going to be my sweet lineup right here. So Jordan Love's really, he came in and he's filled that void for Aaron Rodgers and, Swift and Ford, man. They've been locking it down for me. So,
hey, we're running a contest too, Johnny, right now for one of those Tom Win books. If you tell everybody what hat not you, Johnny. Somebody in the comments that watches it now or later, if they can say what hat I'm wearing, who's on my hat, they get this book.
Got it.
I actually wish that we had Chris Zappo on here once, just to see what he says about this. Yeah.
You got to send a smoke signal. Jeez.
You actually just have to mail him a Bud Light with a note on it.
I was gonna say that.
Or a Coors Light. Sorry, Zap. Don't get mad. It's all right.
But the Molly's won't be blue, man.
They're both bad beers.
Okay. All right, so we have a guess on what's on the hat. Is that
not
close?
a hat.
Nope. Nah. So. All right, so we're gonna go to now. Chris, you play Maurice this week.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna crush him.
I'm gonna crush him.
Even if it's not in fantasy, in real life, I'm gonna go in there and tackle him and crush it.
Look at all the green check marks on the right.
Hey Maurice, what are all those check marks mean? means I'm almost out of the grocery store.
I mean, dude, Chris, your team.
Could be. No, it's not.
Jeez.
Oh, is Aaron Jones expected to come back this week?
Hey,
That'll be good.
tonight, yeah, they announced that he's active tonight.
Nice.
So.
That'll be big to see how he plays.
Andrew, is that a sex thing? That's between Chris and Maurice. So.
True.
And we all just got really quiet after that.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't look at Gotham City's roster outside of Josh Allen. You know, that's Jamar Chase. I mean, the Cincinnati, I mean, they've got to figure out that line and protect.
The only thing my team doesn't have is a
Joey.
10-point running or a 10-point tight end weekly.
You have that streamer tight end. That tight end you just plug into play, basically.
Yeah.
You don't have somebody you have consistently play. And I'm just looking at your bench. I mean, you got Kamara coming back. Tutu's doing well. Gino can do well. So it's like if you have someone gets hurt of a bye week, there's nothing happening to you really. So.
Yeah, it could be a little better, but we're all right.
Maurice, on the other hand, he needs help. So. All right. Well, John's not here. John Palm's not here, but he's facing Jason this week. And much like the game between Dustin and Jordan, it's a tight one. I'm hoping that John could pull it off. But at the same time, I'm looking at Jason's team, and the only consistent player on that team right now is Kelsey.
It's just kind of sad that Dak Prescott's supposed to get 17.4 points. Like, I think Dak is a better quarterback right now, tomorrow, and next year, and probably last year than Russell Wilson.
Well, even if you look at Mac Jones on John's bench, he's only predicted to get 0.4 points than Dak Prescott.
Well, I mean, I think the problem that Dak Prescott's having this year is that, I mean, they're not throwing the ball deep, is what I understand to be one of their big problems, because they don't have a good running game. And because of that, you know, the defense is playing, you know, away from the ball, or they're playing away from the line, and they just can't get any, you know, big plays going, is what I've been seeing happening anyway.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Dallas fan, and I know if Amy watches, one of our exchange members, she's gonna hate me for saying that, but I want the Cowboys. Never have, never will. But no, John Palm and I have been talking about Kadarius Toney because I asked him why is he keeping him around, and he's just like, eventually he's gonna go off. Eventually.
No.
I'm just surprised that Alexander Madison is rated higher than anybody out here on the running back list.
Keeps fumbling the ball.
I mean, I'm just like, I see the green check mark next to his name. I was like, well, who the heck does the other team play? It's like, oh, yeah. Pierce has been a really, really just underwhelming player this year.
Yeah, he's very inconsistent this year.
Not Predator, not Hulk.
All right, so
the franchise is on. What is this franchise on, Kyle? IDW.
I gotta look at the hat again.
Oh, I know what the hat is. I know who that is.
Oh, you can
Yes.
read it through there.
Yes, it's it is IDW. So
It's a very vicious looking rendition.
That's right.
I mean, we can say the original publisher too, but that might give it away.
Jeez, this is almost as
Congratulations, man.
this
You get that.
production is not looking good.
Third time's a try.
I even put it in Mylar for you.
So, Mirage.
Courtesy of Tom Wynn.
All right, Jericho. Now it's time for you and I this week.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled, but I hope the guys show up to play.
You know what? I think Jericho's gonna take out the win on this.
I
think
appreciate that,
Joey
John.
B's feeling warm. They're going to go against They're going to go out in the field against Tennessee, who's been completely terrible this year. They're like, I think they're bottom 5 pass defense this year, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's not
So
strong.
I think Joey B is going to have a night. He's going to turn it around. It's going to be one of those games that they figure it out and they start getting good again. And I just think, they got, more set. Maybe Miami has another big night against Buffalo, puts up 80 points this time, maybe. I feel it.
One could hope.
I'm gonna go visit Jericho this week at work and have him drop this in your poll, or maybe I'll drop it in there so I make sure it gets in there because I heard he messed your shit up or something. Jericho's like, F you guys.
No, so I have to admit, like when I drafted Jalen Hurts,
Did it hurt?
I would. Okay, being a Vikings fan, yeah, it did. I mean, but when I'm watching these games and that goal line push that they
Not too bad. It's been pretty quiet.
It's like that's just extra points nonstop. So
yeah, they're doing a great job there in Philly with that.
Yeah.
It's the highest percentage play in a 3-year span or something stupid like that in history.
Yeah, and it's like every time I get the update, I'm like, oh, look at that, Jalen Hurts is in the end zone. It's a 1-yard touchdown. So
yeah. It's got a 97% success rate or something. It's so dumb.
I mean, at least Jericho's got me beat on Josh Jacobs and Jake Elliott. Looks like opposing to ESPN. So
Espen.
I just think Joey Burrow, man, he's gonna go off on that Tennessee. I think him and Jamar Chase are gonna have a huge night.
Johnny, tell us more about Joe Burrow.
I love Joe Burrow, man. Joe Burrow's got all the swag in the NFL in one finger.
So I was going to be quiet there for a quick second.
I love Joe
Nobody
Burrow.
expected an answer that short. That was a good one.
That's all you need to know.
I did originally, but maybe an hour ago, 2 hours ago, I had to bench Buffalo's defense. I do not trust them against Miami. Just because how good Miami's been playing. It's the number 1 defense in the league, but Miami's defense has been scary. So,
yeah, the Buffalo defense has been kind of this year.
Well, Buffalo got 31 points from me last week.
Love Buffalo.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, they lost week 1. It was embarrassing.
Well, that's why I'm starting Cincinnati this week against Tennessee. With everything that we've been talking about Tennessee, I just figured Cincinnati would be a good play this week. But no, I'm looking forward to next week, our episode next week. I like Jericho's idea of it being quarterly, so we can have a quarterly checkup to see how we feel about our teams.
I've got
Jericho as a customer
presentation next week, so that's gonna be fun.
You say you have a Deadpool presentation?
I have a special presentation.
For what, next week here?
Yeah.
Nice.
Could we do a Deadpool presentation for the week after?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you.
Any of you guys ever seen this?
Dude, I love that.
Here are some tales to astonish. It's like a low-grade Hulk.
Who's the art on that?
Joe Mama. Just kidding. She did not draw that. I'm sorry, Kyle.
I mean, she can draw at least, so.
This is from 1978. It's kind of weird. Just got a bunch of Hulk books in it. No, that's funny. Yeah, I got this from Tony Hoagland and Level Up.
Tony's a good guy.
I think you guys, I shared it, so the members and you guys could have seen it. 20% off their eBay store.
Yep.
So I messaged and I was like, hey, could you pull these? And then we don't have to go through the bay. And that's what happened.
Have any of you guys put any money down on Kirk Cousins breaking all the passing records, but also going winless this year? Anybody put any money on that. I've seen
I don't like
I've seen
to
some
wrap my
crazy.
money
I've seen
with
some
Turkey
hilarious
K
memes
or
about that.
Turkey C.
Are you taking action on it, Johnny?
No, because I think they'll win at least like 2 games or so. But it's funny that he's on par for this record-breaking season on almost all the stats, and yet they can't fucking get a win.
I'd rather put money on the percentage of votes he gets on the first time and last time he's ever on a Hall of Fame ballot, and it's probably 9%.
Such a random number.
I mean, I'll say this: Phillip Rivers is gonna make the Hall of Fame, and I don't think Phillip Rivers is any better than fucking Kirk Cousins. They're the same dude. They're just 2 good quarterbacks to throw up a ton of numbers, look great, but can't ever fucking figure it out in big games and in the playoffs. And if Phillip Rivers is gonna make the Hall of Fame, I really can't create too much of an argument why you're not going to include Kirk Cousins. I mean, they're like the same dude on stats.
I have to agree with Andrew here about JJ, because JJ's pulling up great numbers too. Just the Vikings can't pull a win out, and you said 2 wins, and there you go. Andrew said he officially liked Johnny Boy.
Yeah.
I feel like the Vikings could switch it around and be fairly well if the ball went their way. But we got so lucky last year with all the wins.
Yeah, I think you guys got to get some kind of momentum going with that run game. You can't control the clock, and that's always been like the mantra for the Vikings, last dozen or so years is we're going to try and get up by, we're trying to get 21, 28 points, be up by at least a goal or two. So, and then we're just trying to run out the clock on you. And you guys just can't run the ball right now. It's embarrassing.
No, this is also a good point too. Andrew, thanks for making all the comments, by the way. Hunter's doing pretty good as well. He's not. I mean, the Vikings are on pace to break all these records, but yet they can't win. It is boggling everyone's mind right now. So,
all right, I got these stats up here for a minute because I agree with Johnny, but let's investigate why Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback.
No, I'm not saying he's played more seasons, so. I think if you compare him, he's the better. But I don't think they're that different as my overall statement. But yeah, what do you got, Chris?
No, you guys keep going. I gotta keep compiling these stats.
Okay. Well, he made a comment in the comment section there about the O-line, and the thing is that the Vikings, you guys have built over the last 20, 22 or so years, ever since Adrian Peterson was there, you have made an outside zone run scheme where you got to have these undersized guards pulling up, getting downfield blocks. So they've got to be underweight to get that speed that they need. And so you've designed the offensive line to be that. So the offensive line, they do what they need to do. It's designed to be what it is. You just don't have a good running back right now. And I talked about this, I think, the first week. But part of the problem is that historically, you've had quarterbacks that have wanted to be shotgun quarterbacks, but the running schemes that you've always run are all around being in single eye formations. And so when you switch the formation from, okay, now we're in shotgun, especially in the Adrian Peterson era, you always knew they were passing the ball. And it got a little bit better with Cook as the running back. He wasn't as obvious. He was a little bit better. He could catch the ball a bit, and he was a little bit better blocker. So you could switch up a bit, but that's still more or less the problem is that you've got a quarterback that wants to be in shotgun. You've got a run system that's designed to be the opposite, and it's just not a good marriage.
Hey,
All right,
Jordan,
Connie, you ready? Or no, Jordan, sorry, you go ahead.
Jordan, a question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever asked you what your team is, or who your team is.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Because, like, we got Johnny here with Seattle stuff on. I was wearing Viking stuff. Chris is just a football fan. So,
I'd say I'm a sports fan in general. I like to label myself as a fair weather Vikings fan. So I've kind of just shifted over at this point to just kind of tracking the whole NFL.
well, it's
We'll
funny.
see if they can pull me back in.
Growing up, I was a massive Vikings fan. My dad was a Green Bay fan because he felt like that would make the house fun. And then he was like, Kyle, why'd you stop like being so obsessed with the Vikings? And this happened when we had Minneapolis Miracle. I'm like, my heart's been broken too damn much to care about the Vikings. I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm just gonna enjoy football. So
All right, let's close this out by debating this for a minute because it's interesting. Because I agree that Kirk Cousins and Phillip Rivers are almost the exact same, except he will never get the numbers that Phillip had.
Yeah.
So Phillip Rivers, I here's what I took. I took games played, yards, touchdowns, quarterback rating. Screw the percent right now, because quarterback rating factors that in a little bit. So Phillip Rivers had 244 games played, 63, and that's regular season, I believe. They only count 63,440 yards, 421 touchdowns, 95.2 QB rating. Kirk Cousins is 99 games played less at 145 with 38,215 yards, 261 touchdowns, and then he has a better QBR at 98.1. Do you think he can play another 99 games in the NFL and beat any of those stats?
No, I don't think he can. I'm talking on an average. When you look at them on the average level, Kirk Cousins is like a Phillip Rivers kind of guy, kind of like a Matt Ryan kind of guy. Like they're right there. They're throwing up all these stats. I mean, I would say Matt Ryan's a little bit above them because he's got the MVP. He's got Super Bowl. So I won't really put Matt Ryan down that far. But, yeah, I mean, he's at that Phillip Rivers level. I think part of it is, he had to sit behind, RG3 for a year or so. So he lost a couple, I think 2 seasons there. I mean, look, if some team gives him another 4 years, maybe, if he keeps throwing up 4,000 yard seasons, he might catch up. But I just have a hard time seeing him, probably get another 4 years after this.
I think he's going to follow the Brad Johnson route. I think he has one good year after he's a Vikings player, and then he's basically the savvy vet that's in the ear of the young guy.
that's a great call.
Could be.
But and that's fine too, because then that leads to becoming a coach.
Yeah. I mean, I just think you look at him on paper and it's like, okay, you're going to give a guy, and I'm not saying Phillip Rivers is a bad quarterback, but he always was bad in the playoffs.
I would have loved to have him here. I always said, give him to us, give Matt Stafford to us. We could have had a stable quarterback.
Yeah, but I think Matt Stafford is on another level. He's another level higher than those guys. I mean, I think Matt Stafford is an Aaron Rodgers tier quarterback.
Holy
he just
shit!
Had to play
that's
with
fucking. That's crazy.
Listen, you look at his numbers.
Stop in the name of football.
Listen, if it wasn't for the fact that he was playing for the Lions, if he got drafted by some other team, we all know what he'd be doing. Listen, you can't argue this. Who are the 2 top receivers in a single season? And who was their quarterback? Matt Stafford. Okay? He's got the number 1 and the number 2. He's a Super Bowl winning MVP player. Like, he's better than Phillip Rivers. He's better than Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's going out there again this year, and it looks like they might take it to the Super Bowl again. He's got the Rams playing this well. I mean, Matt Stafford, I think, he played for the Lions. That's, you know what I mean? Like he played in, in that period of time, the worst possible team for like 13 years. And he still put up amazing numbers.
Well, he had one of the best receivers to ever catch the ball.
Yeah. But let me say this. If you would have put Matt Stafford all them years on those San Diego Charger teams, he's got like 2-3 rings. I'm sorry. He don't choke the way that
they're in the AFC.
I don't care. Like they're gonna do a lot more damage than what Philip Rivers would have done with that Chargers team if they would have had Matt Stafford all them years. He's just on another level.
He wouldn't have lined up as well with LT though. He's not
I remember listening to this interview. Aaron Rodgers was talking. Somebody was talking to him about Patrick Mahomes after Patrick Mahomes' MVP season, and they're like, "Man, we've never seen anybody throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes." And Aaron Rodgers is like, "Yeah, you have. His name's Matt Stafford. He's been doing that shit for years." And it's like, he's in Detroit. He's in football hell. Nobody knows about it. Doesn't get the publicity. That guy, I mean, he's got one of my favorite stats about Matt Stafford is he has the longest recorded play in history. It's like 35 seconds or something. He's running around, dodging like 30 tackles or some shit like that, and like throws it. And he's got a broken collarbone in the middle of it. It's one of the most amazing plays of all time. Dude's
better get a ring one of these years because I don't think he has many left.
Jordan, do you have any opinion on the Rivers debate?
I'm just excited to learn these well-kept Matt Stafford secrets.
You got to look up Matt Stafford, man. You got to watch his highlights.
I like Matt Stafford a lot.
He is so fucking good. I have wished that the Vikings or somebody had been picking him up. I wanted him out of there years ago. I was like, this guy is like the perennial, like does everything right, says all the right things, is head and shoulders above everybody else in his team, and his team just shafts him every fucking way. And
you mentioned about him not having a ring. He did win a ring with LA.
Oh, did he?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's got the ring with LA, and he's a Super Bowl MVP. And so, I mean, I just like the guy's got it. I mean, he's got it in spades. He just had to play in football hell football hell. I mean, there's 3 layers of it. It's Cleveland, it's, Detroit, and then it's, all the missed field goals by the Vikings. Sorry.
So which would you say is the deepest layer of football hell, Johnny?
Historically, it's the Lions, but since the recreation of the Browns, it's the Browns, and I hope to God the Browns remain the bottom layer of football hell. The fact that you get rid of their starting quarterback, so this is my favorite part about that whole saga, right? Baker Mayfield, it's the last season of the game, it's the last game of the season, and they've got to beat Pittsburgh on the road, right? They haven't beat Pittsburgh in like fucking 10 years, okay? Like 20 years on the road, right? So they got to beat them on the road just to make the playoffs. So they go into Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's like, oh, same old Browns, because they're on a winning season. But Pittsburgh's all like, same old Browns, same old Browns. They go there. They beat Pittsburgh. Amazing win by all accounts. And then they're like, oh, we're not worried. It's still just the same old Browns. They still got to come back here and beat us in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. And so they do that, and they beat them again. And then the Browns are like, you know what? We have this quarterback that had brought us to our first winning season in 15 years, brought us our first playoff victory in 25. Fuck him. Let's just throw him away. Let's bring in this notorious rapist. I hope they stay in football hell forever. Honest to God, bunch of bullshit. Sorry for this.
They don't have
I can't stand it. It just makes me so. It's everything I hate about professional sports.
And just to be clear, that's a personal opinion, not the
Yeah.
expressed opinion of the MCE Comics and Cleats podcast.
Look, he settled court.
That in writing.
He settled out of court, which when you settle, you admit fault. So just let that be known.
Let's avoid the whole being sued by somebody like Brett Favre and Pat McAfee.
We're not
Ooh, Patty McAfee.
But no, I mean that's just irritated the crap. I mean, because like not only do they do that, but like during one of the games when he's got like a broken collarbone, they're like, "Hey, even though we've told all the media that you've got this broken collarbone, we're still going to start you, and we're still going to make you throw the ball 60 times." This is dumb as shit. I hate it so much.
So we should probably wrap up soon. It's the Green Bay and Detroit's game starting in 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, Detroit.
Is there
Go Detroit.
Is there any comic events happening this week that we're aware of?
Kenneth Rockeford signing at Most Wanted Comics Saturday. Should be
Nice.
pretty fun.
Isn't what's his face having like a garage sale or something?
That's next. That's the next week.
Couple
Oh, okay.
weeks.
We've got Captain Jack's in St. Louis Park.
That is this weekend.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot of comics coming up. Captain Jack has a Philo long box for 100, I think, and has some good deals going on. We have it shared on the page naturally.
but yeah, I wanted to let people know what they can expect coming up on the week every weekend. Andrew just said he thought that's next weekend for Captain. Is that
That's
Captain
Brad
Jack?
Hubers, I think.
Brad Hubers, yeah. And that's 50-cent books, right?
Oh, let's look. Let's look it up.
I mean, doesn't a long box hold 100 comics? Am I wrong about that?
Yes, you are.
Oh no, a short box holds 100. My bad.
Oh, yep. This is Captain Jack's is not this weekend. It's October 6th, 9 to 4. Thanks, Andrew. October 7th, 9 to 4. And Sunday the 8th, 10 to 3.
Isn't Nerlin out the same weekend too?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's
I
a
think
lot of
Nerd announced in October, right?
Yeah, October's
Yeah,
next week already.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, October 6th through the 8th, Nerlin out in Rochester. So
I was just like, my brain, I forget what day it is off the top of my head. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
all
Yeah,
right.
go
so-
check out Matt Stafford highlights, everybody. You're gonna love it.
Also, find a comic book. We have a comic book podcast too. So if you're watching this on the rewind, let us know what you're reading too, at least. We haven't talked about what we're currently reading at all. But
Yeah,
that's
what Jordan? What are you reading, buddy?
You can't
I do mainly look at the pictures.
But
That is very true. I picked up a Transformers #1 recently. I'll probably flip through that before I get it cleaned and pressed.
That's nice. Yeah, I saw. Did you get that at the show? Because I saw one at the show.
I didn't. I got it from the same fellow that Chris got his Wolverine books from.
Nice. I'm going to be reading. I got the entire collection of Dark Wolverine in hardback, trade paperback from Issues Needed. I got a sick deal on them. So again, shout out to those guys. That was pretty sick. I got like
I almost bought that the
Mhm.
day before you bought it.
Oh man, you should, man. I got it for like $40. I got like 8 hardbacks or whatever it was.
Good deal.
all right. Well,
What about you,
Oh,
Kyle?
You know what? You know what I need to
This is what-
read is Deadpool Batter Blood. I'm just
you-
waiting for
you
the
want it for a
full
fan.
collection so I can read it all at once.
so Andrew, I'm not much of a Transformers fan, but I'm actually looking forward to Danny Warren Johnson on that book. So I'll be picking that up when that comes out. What I am reading, I'm catching up on books from like almost a year ago still. So X-Men titles. Jericho is here. Jericho and I will be talking about X-Men. We were talking about the guy that wrote Space Sheriff. He was at our show. He had a book called Of Death that I picked up from him. It was a horror book. I actually really
Justin
enjoyed it.
Cermak, that's his name.
That's his name. Yep. So,
Well,
no,
we had some cool artists at our show this last weekend. I picked up the pirate books by, I think his name was Oz. I can't pronounce it. It was Oscard or
Oz.
Oz.
Girls
Come
got
on.
it. Oz. Yeah, Oz. It's pretty good. I got a copy for my wife. That was pretty cool.
But
Yeah, I just know that one thing. We're gonna try one more show to give free money to be spent at the show to adults. And then if no adults claim it again, we're just giving it all to kids because that's the best part. So
you drop it some
Well, we
random-
got Pez. We got Pez to give out.
yeah, the
Chris,
adults can win Pez, and then the kids can win money to spend at the
I
booth.
bought some Spider-Man Pez dispensers for whenever we do our next thing. We can just throw them out. I don't know.
Sean just starts hawking Pez at kids.
Andrew, I don't know if you know this, but the artist of that book is actually in Minnesota, Bob Quinn. We were talking about his book last week on here. Kill Your Darlings #1. He was at Uncanny Experience.
That's cool.
He did Knights of X, I think Way of X. And I looked over at his booth and I seen Kill Your Darlings sitting there. And I'm like, nah, this is not the same guy. I know that the writers of it do a podcast. So I go home and sure enough, it's the same guy that did the book. So end up talking to Bob probably for like half an hour about that book. No, I'm thinking maybe next week we can talk more about what we're reading, what we're collecting as well.
Yeah.
So, but I hope everyone has had a good night. Enjoy the football game.
You too,
Enjoy your
man.
books. What Peter Pan?
I said, you too, man.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I thought you called me Peter Pan. So,
I might now start calling you Peter Pan. Grow up, Peter Pan, Count Chocula.
hey, I'm calling Maurice Pookie now. Okay, so
Maurice's name is Pookie. If you go into issues needed, call him Pookie. Until he asks you to stop a couple times, then it's harassment.
he told me he enjoys it though. So,
Wow.
all right, everybody. Good
Take
night.
it easy, Andrew.
Have a good one.
Have a good night.
But